That night, I realized something terrifying. Evil doesn't always live in dark alleys or broken houses. Sometimes it sleeps beside you, wearing a wedding ring. My name is Elena Cross, and this is the story of how my twin sister and I destroyed a man who nearly broke her. We were identical twins, but life treated us very differently. I was single, independent, living quietly. My sister Mara was married, or at least, she used to be. The night she showed up at my door, I almost didn't recognize her. Her face was pale, her hands were shaking, and beneath the long sleeves, I saw bruises she tried to hide. "He didn't mean to," she whispered. That's when I knew how deep the damage went. Her husband, Victor, was respected, successful, charming to the world. But behind closed doors, he was cruel, calculated, violent in silence. Mara told me everything: the insults, the control, the fear. And then she said something that changed everything. "He's leaving for a business trip, for 1 week." She looked at me. "You look exactly like me." That's when the idea was born. We didn't call the police, we didn't scream, we planned. The next morning, we switched places. I became Mara, and Mara disappeared somewhere safe. At first, Victor didn't notice anything, but slowly, his world began to crack. I stopped smiling on command, stopped apologizing for breathing, stopped fearing his voice. When he raised his hand, I stared straight into his eyes. The first time he froze. The second time, he stepped back. Then I started playing his own game. I recorded conversations, saved messages, collected proof. Every night, I became colder. Every morning, he became smaller. The man who once terrified my sister now slept with the lights on. On the final night, I invited him to talk. I placed the evidence on the table: photos, audio, messages. His face collapsed. "You ruined me," he whispered. "No," I said calmly. "You did that yourself." The next day, Mara filed for divorce. Victor lost his job, his reputation, everything. People asked how she found the courage. She never told them the truth. But I'll tell you this: sometimes, monsters don't need violence to be destroyed. They just need to be seen. And love, real love, always fights back. I used to believe that silence was strength, that enduring quietly made you noble. I was wrong. When my twin sister Harper came to my house that night, her face told a story her mouth refused to speak. One eye was swollen, her lips split, and her hands trembled as she held her tea. She kept saying she had fallen down the stairs. But stairs don't leave fingerprints on arms. That was the night we stopped being victims. That was the night we switched places. 3 months had passed since I took Harper's place in that house. 3 months of wearing her life like a mask. And tonight, I was returning, not as the quiet wife everyone expected, but as a storm no one saw coming. Her husband, Daniel, didn't notice the difference at first. Men like him never do. He was used to control, to obedience, to power without resistance. "Dinner's late," he said coldly when I walked in. I smiled, not Harper's soft smile, mine. "I thought you'd wait," I replied calmly. His eyes narrowed, confused, but he said nothing. That was the first crack. I didn't start with screaming or fighting. No, that would have been too easy. Instead, I changed tiny things. His favorite shirt? Accidentally ruined in the wash. His meetings? I forgot to remind him. His dinner? Salted beyond saving. Each time he complained, I stared at him, silently. That silence terrified him. Because it was new. Daniel liked order, he liked routines, and I destroyed both. I began staying out late, laughing on phone calls, locking my phone with passwords Harper never used before. "Who are you talking to?" he demanded one night. "A friend," I said. "Is that allowed?" The words hit him harder than any slap. For the first time, he didn't raise his voice. For the first time, he hesitated. One evening, he grabbed my arm, not hard, testing. I leaned closer and whispered, "Do it again, and I promise you won't like what comes next." He laughed, nervously. But that night, I slept with the bedroom door locked. He stayed awake. I could feel it. Fear has a sound. I started telling people, not everything, just enough. I bruise easily. He gets angry when stressed. I'm worried about him. I never accused. I let them conclude. Soon his colleagues looked at him differently. His mother asked questions. His control began slipping. And men like Daniel panic when control disappears. He exploded one night. "You've changed," he yelled. "You're not the woman I married." I stood tall. "You're right," I said. "She's stronger now." He froze, because for the first time, he realized something was wrong.